really shapes you as a student. So no matter when you join or when you choose to join, you will be, your daughter will be the best version of herself coming out of the school. So, and whether that is the best artist or the best hockey player or the best mathematician, they will be the best version of themselves.
I'm Glenn Herbert, and I'm an editor with Our Kids. We're speaking with insiders from Canada's leading private schools to gain insights into their programs, culture, traditions, and leadership. This includes insights from parents, alumni, and administrators. This is the Our Kids Insider Perspective.
Hard to pick one thing about Havergal I like. I love the school. It's clearly apparent in my answers. But I think one thing about it is the community, and just the fact that at Havergal, they really support you in whatever you're doing. I just love that in every aspect, it was really cool, for lack of a better word, to be really into academics. It was also really cool to be really great at sports, and it was, or to be really into whatever club you were joining or whatever house you were a part of. And that showed, I think, me that, in terms of now that I'm navigating an industry that's very male dominated, that women can really do anything. It sounds very cheesy, but I just always remember back when I'm, maybe navigating a tough thing at work, I say, okay, when I was at Havergal, the smartest scientist was one of my friends was a girl, and the best hockey player was a girl, and the funniest person was also a girl in the class. So it just shows that you can be anything you want to be, and Havergal's community really supports that, and will continue to support that as an alumni too. I think the tangible school events are really special and very unique to that school. So we have like hockey day, where you dress up in all the Havergal colors and cheer on the hockey team. And then you have house shout, where you dress up as your different house colors, and then you make different cheers and you bond with everybody from, the kindergarteners to the grade 12s. So those tangible memories are definitely things I love and I look back at, and it really makes it such a strong community. But then lots of intangibles as well. Just like when I look back, or when I talk to my friends about what they loved most about Havergal, it's just like in the middle of the class getting a snack and laughing with a teacher, or staying really late to work on a project and you're actually enjoying yourself because all your friends, all your fellow students are friends. So it's a mix of those really big moments that are probably advertised on the site, but also just those small things that it's a place that you really don't want to leave, even if you're doing school, in a lab or anything like that. Yeah, I think what differentiates and what made me choose and never look back after I chose Havergal was this mix of, it has a lot of history and traditions and all those events I was talking about. And 3 times a week we come together as a school, and we, talk about announcements, but also talk about important world issues in our kind of assemblies, which they call prayers. And it has this historical legacy of being such an old school founded on these principles, but also, and what I've seen now as an alumni too, it's really not afraid to be innovative and be talking about hard issues that are new and changing for education. I think they navigated being in the pandemic extremely well, but they also navigated dealing with some, new, I would say racial issues really well, and educated their students about how to be a woman in this 21st century. And they've done a great job about implementing new classes. Like I said, technology, I took those in 2010 and 11, and now it's my job. So they're great at having and respecting this history, but not letting it impede them on kind of being the best school for now too. I would say that's a hard question, because there's not one type of Havergal girl or Havergal student. But what would personify this person would be having very strong character and being very confident, and whatever they choose to, pursue, whether it's sports or, science or math or anything like that, they're extremely confident and have a lot of integrity, and they really give back to their community. I would say that's the through line of like what a Havergal girl would look like. Yeah, passion for sure, passion for whatever they were uh, believing in the time, and the fact that you were able to learn from all these passions, whether they were diverse. And now, years after graduating, I'm still friends with so many. So seeing them live out their passions is great, and learning from them. So I would say passion would be one of them. And then this confidence, and I wouldn't say it's at all an arrogant confidence. It's a really like kind of just the ability to be confident in whatever they're doing. And that's, if you go to Havergal, you end up building this confidence because of that strong community. And then this idea, I think Havergal does a great job of teaching you to give back to your community, and whatever that community is. Everybody joins a different community partnership, and whether that's, I volunteered every Sunday with a local school and taught French, and others did different times of the week and different types of community events, community service partnerships, but just giving back in any way you can, because we are privileged enough to attend Havergal, so they really instilled those things. So I would say those three of the passion for whatever it was, confidence in themselves, but also the idea that we're giving back with all that we have. The community partnerships is amazing, and I can only talk about what it was like when I was there. But every week I would volunteer with a group of girls, and we'd go into a local high school, and that was a great way to give back to the community that was like a few streets away from Havergal. But also you were able to bond with the teachers who were the advisors for the event, and then also the students who were younger than you or older than you, and then you became friends throughout that. And then there were great service trips. I did Spanish all through Havergal, so I was able to go to Nicaragua, and we were able to learn Spanish really well, but also give back to a local community there that was always, every year we'd go back to them, so we had really strong connections with them. Yeah, really similar to those attributes I was explaining, but I'd add work ethic to that. I developed such a strong work ethic there, because anytime I turn around, someone was studying very hard, working very hard on whatever project they were doing, in addition to, either practice, waking up at 5 a.m., the rowing teams would go to the lake and row there. So that work ethic was instilled in me really early, so that when I went to college in, American schools, I was not shocked by the workload, and I wasn't shocked by having to work hard. I was just like, oh, I've done this before. I know how to do this. And I, kept on with that work ethic. So I'll add that one that is a little bit more of an intangible to that list. I guess, to speak candidly, I was a little nervous about the single gender school idea, and all girls may sound a little strange and everything, but I think it was surprised me about how it broke all the stereotypes. It was so supportive. It was so, everyone was so thoughtful. Everyone was so into empowering each other, that it was not at all the stereotypes you'd associate with putting a group of girls together. So I just love that it surprised me in the best way there. Yeah. Yes, definitely. I think it was probably shaped my personality the most strong out of all of the schools I've been to. And really, that's where I figured out who I was as a person, and I was able to succeed after that because of Havergal. Yeah, I don't think it's one instance, but I think Havergal does a great job of showing you a role, kind of a character model that you should work towards or aspire, which is what I was kind of describing, and showing it in teachers, but also students. So there was a little bit of a culture where you really looked up to the older students every year, like middle schoolers would really look up to the, a year older, and then high schoolers would really look up to the seniors. And I think that really instilled in that everyone was like trying to better themselves to be like those role models of theirs. So that's why I think it really solidified me as a person, because I was constantly looking up to the older girls who were so great at XYZ that I wanted to do. I guess, and it's a little bit of advice too for people, new students starting, it's to get involved immediately with as many things as you can, because you'll learn about things you don't even know that you love. For example, like try out for plays and try out for sports teams, or volunteer for those community service partnerships, because you never know what specifically you really liked. I ended up really liking the kind of we have one of the plays, there's one act plays there, and they're student run and student directed, and I ended up stage managing and then directing some of them. So I never knew I wanted to do that, never pursued theater after that, but it was such a great experience, and I did that a little later. So do things and try out different parts of Havergal that you don't think you would love, because you end up bonding with so many different students and teachers that way, and learning things you didn't even know about yourself. I think I've been really proud that the school has changed with the times, especially since it's school with so many, hundreds of years of history. I was a little nervous that they wouldn't, but I've just been so proud that every time I check their social media or hear about things from groups I volunteer with, they're like, we're doing this workshop on, learning about whatever new thing, and how to, I've appreciated that. And that's a great, not even, I would say that is a perspective that's changed in a good way. If you're not necessarily a big, humanities or math person, but you're an amazing artist, why aren't you able to do that? And, coding is so important right now, and they're like starting that as early as possible at Havergal. So I've just been proud to see that. First, academically, it is an excellent institution that is going to make you learn how to work very hard and work well and smart, but also push you academically and support you academically too. And then second, as I said, there's such a strong community feel and to the school, whether it's students older or younger than you, or our faculty or teachers, and then the parents and the families that are with the Havergal girls. It's such a strong community there. And then it never stops, because I'm still best friends with my Havergal friends, even though I don't live in Toronto. And so that community, I think, is such a huge part of why you would choose Havergal. And then I would say third, as I said, it really shapes you as a student. So no matter when you join or when you choose to join, you will be, your daughter will be the best version of herself coming out of the school. So, and whether that is the best artist or the best hockey player or the best mathematician, they will be the best version of themselves. So those are my three reasons. Yeah, I think the campus is beautiful, and it's very lucky that you're able to attend a school where it's just a stunning campus and there's so many different facilities. But what I would always be excited to show, and it's the beginning of the tour, it is the Brenda Robson Hall. And it is this like long, beautiful hall where 3 times a week the students would sit for assemblies, otherwise known as prayers, and basically it has, stained glass windows and so much history there. But what I loved about it is that the entire community would come together, and parents were also able to come and watch in the back, and students would come up there and do announcements or little skits, and then there would be great talks about what's going on in the world and what should we educate ourselves on. And then it would start and end with amazing musical talents by people who were great at music, and I can't play anything or sing anything, but they were great. So that is one I would always highlight, just because I think it's a great show of like the history of Havergal and how grand and great it is, but also the fact that where everybody was in there and showing that, there's this new community in there that's constantly growing and sticking together. I would say, well, I'd be like, you're so lucky. If I had a minute, no, I'm kidding. I would say, like, enjoy and savor every single experience at a Havergal, because while you're there, you don't realize how incredible it is to be talking to your amazing students who are so talented, and then learning from all these teachers and learning all these new things every day, and having access to all these resources. So I would just say savor every minute, but also take advantage of every minute and every opportunity. If there's something new, try it. If there's a team or anything, try it, because you'll never have so much of a concentrated support system being like, try this, do this, we'll support you. So savor every minute for sure.
For more information about this school, you can visit their profile at ourkids.net.